Hi everybody, welcome back to Julie at Home. I hope you've all had a healthy and safe and happy holiday season. Please excuse the cozy lighting here. It is hard to find a time to film when it's not dark at this time of year or getting dark. So I decided to just go with the cozy vibes. This video is actually going to be about basically where I've been. I've been taking a bit of a break. And I will get into a bit of a life update as well as an update on where we are in our homeschool and what I am planning on doing in our homeschool in January and in the following, I guess, through this winter and spring. I'm going to start with a reintroduction in case you are new here. Hi, my name is Julia. I'm a homeschool mom of 3. I currently have a very close to 8-year-old daughter who's in 2nd grade. She's actually going to be 8 in a couple days as of filming this video. And I have a 5-year-old son who's in kindergarten this year. And I also have a 1.5-year-old who is a mischievous and active toddler at this point in time. So those are my kids and I homeschool them. I am in the United States in the state of Vermont. And so I do have to follow Vermont's state homeschooling laws. It's called home study here. It's not the strictest state, but it's also far from the most lenient state here. I'm inspired by a lot of different methods and I love researching. And in the preschool toddler years, I'm really heavily inspired by Montessori. That's where I entered this homeschool and education realm. And then as my kids get older, get into kindergarten, 1st grade, I really love the Charlotte Mason approach, but I am by no means a purist. And I also love the classical model and unit studies for especially history. So we really do, it ends up being eclectic. I'm not a purist in any one way. But those are my inspirations for homeschool. I also love to garden. I've started a large kitchen garden here, which I call my potager, and a small orchard and a berry garden. And you can actually follow my gardening and orchard adventures on my other channel, which is Julia in the Garden. I will link that below in case you are interested. So that's my reintroduction. For those of you who have been here for a while, thank you for your patience. Now my life update, and where have I been? Well, some of you may have guessed, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you did. But we're actually expecting baby number 4, and we're very excited about it. So baby number 4 is expected in early June. So he or she, we don't actually know at this point, will be almost exactly 2 years younger than my current youngest, my 3rd. And yes, we don't know the gender yet, in case you're wondering. We will find out, but we tend to find out in the mid-pregnancy 20-week ultrasound, which if all goes well is the only ultrasound I usually get during my pregnancies, as I see midwives and have home births as long as everything is looking good and normal. So that's the plan again this time. So far, so good. I am, as of filming this, right around 17 weeks. If you've been following for a little while and we're here for my 3rd pregnancy with my 3rd child, then you may remember that I get really sick during my 1st trimester, and this pregnancy has been no exception. It has happened all 4 pregnancies with all the kids for me. So I was pretty sick for a while, which is why I paused in pretty much everything. So it paused my videos. I actually filmed Ancient Rome beforehand. Then it took me a while to edit because just not feeling well, my brain wasn't working as well. So I'm glad I finally got that out to you. I'm going to continue now that I'm feeling better. I've been feeling better for about 2 to 3 weeks now, so not very long. I was pretty sick between like 6 weeks and 14, 15 weeks. So luckily I started feeling better just in time for Christmas. So that's basically my life update, but I did want to update you all on homeschool and how this has affected homeschool and how I am adjusting going forward, because we did miss basically half of October and all of November, and I haven't done any formal school in December either. So what we have done is a handful of times have done some math games, math in daily life, and also I've tried to do some review of the older 2 of their phonograms that they're currently working on. So my son is working through single letter phonograms and my daughter through some of the double and triple, more tricky phonograms. And then I've also, I think even fewer times, had them do a little bit of writing practice just to stay up on it. That being said, my daughter, who's in 2nd grade, really took off with reading this year. And so especially with the help of family members, we have kept her well supplied with some chapter books that she has been reading through. So I feel good that she's actually been practicing that on her own, on her free time. But because my energy was basically devoted to the toddler and stopping her from hurting herself and other things, as she has become increasingly mobile and mischievous, all the other subjects were just dropped for that time period. So, and if you've seen my curriculum planning videos, you'll know that I had planned on certain things during those 6 weeks. So things like history and science, artist and composer are a little bit thrown off. So I'm going to go through subject by subject just quickly and tell you kind of where we are and what I'm doing about missing that chunk of time. Additionally, our routine is changing. So I'm actually going to start with that. And just so you know, I have my homeschool planner here, and this is like this was my like 3 o'clock in the morning pregnancy brain thoughts on school and routines and how I'm gonna fit things in that I wrote here. And then I've been going through each individual subject here. So I have notes that I'm going off of here. Okay, so our routine has to be adjusted for several reasons. The main one being I need the toddler to take a more consistent nap time when they're young. I tend to do kind of a loose attachment style parenting where I wear them and they nap when they're tired, usually on me, which gives us a lot of flexibility. But at this point, at 18 months, I really would like to, I have been putting her down at a more consistent time for a nap. So that's generally around 2, sometimes it's as early as 1:30 or 1. And so I want to get our schoolwork done before then. And I don't want to be doing schoolwork during it because being pregnant, I like to do pregnancy meditations, and that's really the best time to do that. That's really one of the biggest reasons I'm changing. It kind of breaks up that chunk of time I would normally have in the afternoon. So I'm hoping we can get our schoolwork really done and focused in the morning. I'm also trying to be aware on each step of the routine what's going on with the toddler because she is the distraction. The basic idea now is that between 9:30 and lunch, we are focused on school time. That is my school time. I am not, hopefully, the idea is I'm not cleaning during that time. I am not on my phone during that time. I am not getting distracted by random things during that time. That's the goal. And then if we need to continue a little bit after lunch, we can. But I will get back to that in a minute. So the course of a normal day, I would like to be able to start and have some kind of me time in the morning. My husband works from home. And so if he can be in charge of the kids and breakfast, which he normally is in the morning, then I can take some time to do some stretches, to really get dressed and ready for the day, have breakfast, prep anything I need to prep, and just, have some me time, really. Starting at 9, we've been doing this the past couple weeks since I've been feeling better. My eldest takes piano lessons and she really needs to be monitoring her practice. So I've been monitoring her piano practice while my husband is watching the toddler before he starts work, which really helps. The goal is to keep up with that. We've been doing that and it's been working great. And then at 9:30, we'll start our school day. 2 different types of days. Group school, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. So that's any subject we do as a group. And there's certain subjects that need to be done at least once or multiple times a week. So I'll plug those in for more often. And then we'll probably have a loop for the other subjects, which ideally we would get to once a week. And then Tuesdays, Thursdays are individual school days where we do the individual subjects, reading, writing, math, and sometimes I throw in like handiwork or a skill as well, but mostly just reading, writing, math. So those are the general outlines of what we're doing during school time. More specifically, each day I'm actually going to work with my toddler first to make sure her attention and love bucket is filled. She's ready for some Montessori toddler style activities. So we'll be doing some of that as well as just some finger plays and singing and mommy baby playing things. So I will also be trying to film some of that for you to show you what I'm doing with her at the different ages. So we'll start with that, but that's like probably 10-15 minutes max. Her attention span's not very long. And then for group school, again, we'll probably be on a loop. Some things we do in our living room, some things we do in our kitchen. If it's a nature study, we might get outside a little bit. And so the goal is during those times to have something for the toddler to do. So I'm going to set up some activities that I'm going to set aside and only pull out like one at a time and occasionally for each area. The kitchen's probably the easiest because she actually really enjoys doing like coloring, and she'll get amused if I like switch out the like from crayons to color pencils or whatever. She really likes that. So that's my plan for during group school. So try to keep her entertained. Food is also a really good way to keep her entertained for a little while. So we may incorporate snacks for everybody while we're doing school, because being pregnant, I also need snacks on a regular basis or I don't feel good. And then on individual school days, my plan is to, again, we'll start with the toddler, do circle time actually on those days. And that's aimed, it's kind of aimed preschool year, so it's kind of aimed between the toddler and the kindergartner. But I really want to give that to my toddler and also to my kindergartner. And I'm going to ask my second grader to continue. I think it's good for all of us. She might feel a little old for it, but she's really not that old. So I think we can all, seasonal poem songs. I'm going to try to simplify it to make it pretty short. And then I'm going to start working individual school with my son. We were alternating before, which was working fine, but my son, as the day goes on, has harder time focusing. So I think if I work with him before my daughter, it'll go faster and easier. And also my older daughter and my younger daughter, my toddler, are both distractions for him. My older daughter she wants attention, and so she'll come kind of try to get attention, and the toddler's just a toddler, so she's always distracting. And so my goal is to have my 8-year-old watch my toddler during the time I'm working with my son, and hopefully that'll be only like half an hour. If it's longer, I might have to take her, the toddler and entertain her a little bit. But I think it'll be really good practice for my older daughter and keep both of the girls occupied and distracted, I'm hoping. I'll let you know how that goes. And then I'll work with my older daughter with my 8-year-old, which usually takes a little bit longer. And again, try to have activities and distractions for the toddler while doing that. I think it's just going to take a lot of rotating of toys and activities and trying to bring some fresh things up every week or two and switch things up, especially as she's growing. And hopefully some things will be able to hold her attention span for longer and longer. And we may have to continue after lunch. If not, my goal is to get outside after lunch. I would love to go on more walks. My healthy habits have not been a priority for me this year as I would like them to be. And so I'm hoping to get back into that and into walking. And the bigger kids can stay outside longer, but then I'll need to bring the toddler in for nap time and do my own meditation time. And the big kids will just have quiet playtime while it's nap time, because the goal is not to wake up the toddler or disturb the mommy. And after that, it's just generally free time. I have to make dinner when it's time for dinner. But also it's my time hoping to get exercise in most days. I have some great pregnancy exercise DVDs, so hoping to do that. Also, this is my time I kind of can film and edit YouTube videos. More might need to be done on the weekends as well. And yeah, just any other like cleaning or things that need to be done. We can just be done with school then at that point in the day and have our independent play and work and whatever. So I am still working on, I would like my big kids to do chores. I don't really want to do it during the 9:30 to lunch school time, because I really want that focused on just school and chores. It's just going to take time. So I'm still thinking through that. That might be done in the afternoon, or it might just be done before after dinner. Because it would be nice if we cleaned things up in the evening and then the morning was cleaner and I didn't have to worry about it. So that's something I'm still working in. But that's the general routine. I'm going to try to be fast going through these subjects. I'm having a hard time keeping this short. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to address is in October, we started doing an elections and U.S. and Vermont government kind of introduction unit, if you will. And it's supposed to be leading up to and just ending shortly after the election so we could kind of process everything. But I started feeling sick. I started feeling sick in like early October, but really by mid-October we were done doing school, so I never finished that unit. And so I'm just going to take 2 weeks and read some of the awesome books I got And also I'm going to make some worksheets. I don't normally use worksheets if you follow, except for the occasional like math or writing thing. But I need something to give for the portfolio for our states. So I'm going to make just a really simple worksheet. And so if you're still interested, I know it's not as timely anymore, but I'd be happy to share our books and what I'm doing for the worksheet with you guys. So let me know. So I'm hoping we can just do that for 2 weeks very quickly. After that, we're going to finish that before we start geography. And I'm kind of repeating some of the geography we did when my daughter was in kindergarten. I use a book, Primary Geography, I believe it is, a book that Charlotte Mason used that kind of goes through directions and maps and different, it's hard to describe, but it's physical geography. And it's written really small, easy sections. And I will also elaborate on that with some books that I have and some landform, probably some landform material, Montessori material. And then also hoping to read Paddle to the Sea. So I think what we'll probably do is do both at the same time. And I'll come back to that when I start doing it and doing all that. And I want to get them, just like they have their nature notebooks, their nature journals. I want to get them the same kind of journal to use for geography journals as we're working through this. Science, I'm going to need to give you a whole different video for a science update because we're still using the Life Curriculum by Pandia Press, but I am adjusting how I'm using it to make it work better for me and how I like to do our homeschool. So that'll have to be a different video, but we left off with only one lesson in the human body left before moving on to like animals and animal kingdom. And so I'm going to take January to review the human body, expand on some things, and also finish that last lesson and experiment. But also we're going to stop and do 1 or 2 germ bacteria experiments. So again, I will update you more on that. I got some books to go with that as well. But that's what I'm going to do in January, and then we will start the animal kingdom hopefully in February. If we go like an extra week or 2 into February, I'm okay with that. So for science in general, I wasn't sure we were going to get to botany, like the botany section at the end of our curriculum anyway. And so at this point, I'm adjusting how I'm doing it, and which I'll get into in another video, but I'm not counting on getting all the way through even the animal curriculum this year. So we're just going to get through what we get through and then pick up where we left off next fall. So that's my deal with science. I'm not going to try to rush through it because that'll just make it less fun, and I think less learning will happen if I rush through it. History, I had planned out all these weeks and we missed 6 of them essentially. But also we did cover the Vikings, which is one of my son's interests, but I was starting to not feel well. And so we didn't do all the activities I had planned on doing. So coming back in January, we're going to spend 1 week that's just going to be Viking week. We're going to continue our Norse myth book because we didn't finish it. And we're going to do some Viking activities such as making a meal. I think we're going to do some rune stones, maybe make like runestone necklaces, maybe make Viking shields. So we're going to do like a Viking week, and hopefully he'll enjoy that. And then we're going to pick up where we left off, which actually the next thing will be a week where we focus on the Islamic Golden Age. And I have more resources for that. And then we'll continue on from there. And there's some weeks where things are lighter and I didn't do like more of a focus or have extra materials. And so I may combine some weeks so we do move a little bit faster. But for the most part, I'm going to just go through like normal, and we'll just stop earlier than I had originally planned to stop in our time period, and then pick up next year, and I'll adjust and it will be okay. So that's my plan for that. I do intend to do some updates for history. I've been trying to figure out what format to do it for you because most of the stuff we're doing this year isn't really units, or if they are, they're really small units. And so I will probably make videos on the really small units like Vikings and hopefully just keep them short. But I will also do hopefully videos on updates on some broader areas and any extras that we've thrown in. So I'm hoping to get to that soon. Composer and artist. So we were supposed to October, November, I'd scheduled Leonardo da Vinci and Hildegard von Bingen, and so we're just going to do them the next 6 weeks, and then I'm going to simplify after that. I had kind of done a crazy thing with Renaissance art, if you look at my curriculum video, because I love Renaissance artists, and it occurs to me that my job in homeschooling my kids at this point is not to expose them to every Renaissance artist that I love, that I should simplify at this point and just maybe cover a couple more. I might even just do one more. Well, we'll see how it goes. But definitely simplifying with that. Then with our other subjects, we're just kind of picking up where we left off. As I mentioned before, with individual subjects, we did a little bit of review, but the first day, maybe even week, will basically be kind of review, seeing where they are as far as their knowledge of their phonograms and their writing and their math, and then going forward from there and just in a more consistent way, trying to make some good progress. I think that's all my subjects. Hopefully I didn't miss something. Oh, art there. We're again just going to pick up where we left off and keep working through. And if we don't finish the book, again, not the end of the world. That's where I am. I have made myself on this next page here a giant to-do list, as we are in our winter break, of how to prep for this. And I will be doing that the next week, in between taking some time to play games and rest with my family, but also doing some catch up around the house, because being sick, I just kind of let things go. So yes, that's what I will be doing. And I'm hoping to get back into video making for all of you. It will not be twice a week. It may not even be once a week. But I promise I will keep going and doing what I can. I have lots of video ideas. So things coming up, I'm thinking Italian. I know I've had several questions throughout the years on how I teach that in my resources. And I hope that even if you're not teaching Italian, but you're interested in a foreign language, to make that video also relevant for you in how you can do your foreign language. History updates, how I'm doing my science, a little bit of a peek into our artists, maybe our composers. So those are some ideas I have coming up, and some winter nature journaling. All ideas. If there is something you would like to see sooner rather than later, please let me know in the comments below, because none of that has been filmed or started yet. I may also put a poll in the community tab. So if you look at that, you can vote in that poll. Thank you so much for being here, friends, especially if you got through that whole long, rambly life and homeschool update. I wish you the best for a happy, healthy, safe new year in 2021. And I will be here, and I will talk to you later.